Morning. Man, I just realized I don't have any speakers on this machine. I took them off. Uh, yeah, to kill the music, I don't have speakers. Now you should be able to hear me. Wonder if I plug headphones in if I can hear it. Well, I gotta get my coffee, and then I'll see if I plug headphones in if I can hear it. Walter's been weak for weeks. What you need to be asking, why yen strength and why dollar strength? But again, we knew this was coming for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, so now it's here. But anyways, let me get my coffee. In sooth, I know not why I am so sad. The wane in Spain falls mainly on the plains. The ants and fronts. Yes, still nothing yet, huh? Yeah, that's weird. I have to speak right into the mic. Wow. Right here, it's fine. Here, nothing. Hang on, weird. Testing, 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 testing. Testing. Nothing over here. Yeah. Right there. This is where I need to speak. Which, of course, is... Of course, this is not where the actual mic sits. All right, so that's kind of interesting. But I hear the static. Do you guys hear static? Yeah, the static is there. Well, that's cool. That'll help me figure out where it is, but it's not going to make me coffee. So, anyways, very interesting. I have a new microphone on its way, so at least I can compare the two. But now I could probably find the static. Wow, it's kind of interesting. I guess this is why they wear headphones when you're in a studio. So, anyways, BRB. All right, good news and bad news. First of all, it's the microphone. I unplugged the microphone and it goes away. I tried all the different ports. Need to look over here, but see you're over there. So I test all the other ports, and every time I plug it into a different port, yeah. So it's the mic, and I have a new mic on its way. So it's either the mic or the mic settings. All right, how about that? All right. Well, yeah, well, I can't hear myself anymore. All right, all right. I think you can hear me now, right? All right. All right, let's get going. I feel like the mic's too far away and this new arm doesn't quite reach. Yeah, I know. Now I have to sit over here. Oh, man. There's only so much I can do. Oh, man. So the arm is slightly too short. I have to get a bigger arm. Great. All right, so I'll lean a little bit. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, how's the volume? Is it too loud? Is it not loud enough? How's the volume? Well, you answer that question, I'll do the disclaimer. Trading in off-exchange foreign currency transactions, otherwise known as Forex, involves substantial risk of loss and may not be suitable for all investors. You should carefully consider whether trading in Forex is suitable for you in light of your circumstances, knowledge, and financial resources. You may lose all or more of your initial investment. That's a required line by the NFA, by the way. Opinions, market data, or trade discussions are subject to change at any time. This is not an alert service. I'm not making trade recommendations. Trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Volume is good. Nice. Volume is fine. Good. And I think the static is gone, right? Okay. Jigga, 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 Slim Shady. Cool. So, good morning. So, now I got to move things around. I got to move you over here so I'm looking at the right place. All right. So, good morning. Good to see you. My name is Wayne McDonald. I'm a currency trader. You can tell because I got an energy drink, a coffee. And I was up late I was up late last night with coffee and a cigar. So if you're up at midnight drinking coffee, and then you're up in the morning drinking coffee and energy drinks, then you might be a currency trader. You might be a currency trader. All right. So cool. So my name is Wayne McDonald. I am a currency trader. I've been doing this for a very long time. It's still working out really nice. I love it. So we got massive yen strength, which we have been planning for March. Right? We've been planning for this yen strength in March for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's here big time. Right on time. Very cool. So we're going to deal with that. The settings are not quite right, huh? Anyways. It's probably about the right distance. So anyways, ask questions, get involved. The reason we're here is I want to help you with your trade planning. So what's happening today is interesting, of course, but I'm also very much interested in tomorrow, next week, the rest of the month, and next month. And so we'll kind of do that. We'll go through that. So maybe ask some good questions and see where it leads. Take notes. Click the like button. Would you do that? Let's start with that. Could you please help YouTube make a good decision on what content they promote to people that are interested in trading Forex? Would you please click the like button? That's one way of doing it. If you're watching a recording, would you please leave a comment and click the like button? Even just say hi or say, hey, YouTube, this is good quality content, right? Like, just say something. I'm giving up on you. That kind of stuff. Cool. So I'd like to thank you for the positive energy that you show. I thank you for subscribing. I thank you for supporting each other. I know often if I can't get to a question, there's an army of other people that jump in and help out and point you toward resources and stuff. And I really thank you guys for that. I thank you for the support that you give to the community. For for over the course of decades that I've been doing this. So thank you very much. Right? Pete says, what's with the Kiwi? Yeah, like someone else, Walter said that too. Really? Okay. Okay, we'll cover that. Yeah, there's nothing new happening to the Kiwi. It's been the weakest of the majors for a long time. In fact, I bailed on it last night right before this big move because I'm like, dude, it's still not going, and I didn't expect it to. So I think I lost 5 pips on it. But boy, it shouldn't be a shock. So we'll go through that. Why is that happening? So cool, right? So we can go through that. So anyway, so the raison d'etre is that we plan in advance and we don't react. So you're like, oh my God, what's happening with the Kiwi? Right off the bat, it tells me you're not paying attention to what the relative strength of these currencies have been over the last weeks. You're not following fundamentals. So like just that type of question is very informative to me. What's going on? And you're like, well, which tells me you don't know. Okay, it's not new. That Kiwi weakness has been around for a while. So when the dollar and yen gets strong, it's going to move the most, but it shouldn't be new news. And so let's try to cover that while you're behind. Okay, cool. So again, thank you for your positive energy. Thank you for treating each other with dignity and respect. Also like to thank Traders Way for being part of our community as well. You're a trader and you're going to need a broker. Traders Way has earned my loyalty and respect. Maybe give them an opportunity to earn yours. The way you do that is visit tradersway.com. You open up a demo account, download MT4 or MT5 or C-Trader or whatever floats your boat, and trade for a while and see what you think. fast execution speed, which I tested through a third-party software, and they're fast. The spreads are very competitive. The fees are very competitive. Okay? Don't go to a broker because they're the cheapest. You'll find out that what they're advertising is not what you're getting. They'll just slip you, and don't worry, you'll end up paying too much. So never go to the cheapest, but you don't want to overpay either, right? So you want competitive, but you don't go cheap. You don't want to put your money into, I don't know. Let's just don't go cheap. Okay? So competitive, yeah, that makes sense, right? Now the swaps. So, for example, if you go to a cheap broker, they're probably going to slip you in and slip you out, and you'll end up paying bigger spreads anyways. But the other thing is they'll take the swaps away from you. Trader's Way offers great swaps. So, anyways, so check all these things out and see if they earn your loyalty and respect. And when you're ready to trade real money, you'll have a broker to go to, tradersway.com. Cool. All right, so I fill off center. It's too bad this arm is just too short. Amazing. Let's see if I can jimmy this. Maybe I could jimmy this. Come on, Wayne, jimmy it. All right, shoot. Now we got more mic problems. All right, maybe that works. I don't know. The arm just might not be long enough, but we'll see. All right, so I got to move this out of the way. Let's get back. Back to the chat. Cool. Good. Wonderful. Great. The only thing is everything's on backwards. It's funny, like the microphone doesn't fit the anything, and so I don't know. Weird designs. But we'll leave it for now. Cool. So let's get on to the easy part of life, and that is currency trading. Life is the complicated part. Okay. Kiwi. Someone's like, what's going on with Kiwi today? You know, it's been weak. Since the middle to late February. It's been weak for a month. So that's the part I don't understand, where people come in, couple of people are like, what happened to the Kiwi? Like, what do you mean? It's been the least performing currency out of these majors for a very long time. And we've talked about it over the last several days and weeks, where I've been trying to buy the dips on it. But it's been underperforming, right? It's been underperforming. So I've been frustrated with it because it's been so weak relative to what others have been doing. So, yeah. So, what's up with Kiwi? This has nothing to do with Kiwi. What we're looking at now is Japanese yen strength. Okay. Now, how many people here have heard me speak about Japanese yen strength in the month of March, and how this is probably the biggest month for yen strength of the entire year? How many people understood that this was on its way? We don't know quite when, but we do know the month of March. Now, if you look relative to other currencies, right? Well, let's say for a while there. So let's look at yen. It was unusually weak, and I kept saying, well, it's supposed to get strong. It's going to get strong. I don't know when it's going to get strong, but it's supposed to get strong. And do you remember Fed Day being an important day? Do you guys remember? Like how many people will confirm we said March 17th is the important day of March? Like, it wasn't the 15th, it wasn't quite the middle, but March 17th is the most important day of the entire month. And that it will be the basis of setting up trades that should last till June. How many people can confirm that? March 17th, not March 15th, not March 12th, not March 20th, not March 23rd today, right? No, March 17th, right? So only 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, 6 people. That's only 5% of people watching. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're getting there. So here's the 17th of March. So, once again, this is not about me being right. This is about me. This is about you writing this down. Okay, now, if you actually typed in yes, the cool thing is you're actually confirming this to yourself. You're reminding yourself. You're going back into your mind and saying, oh, he did talk about that a lot. I didn't really didn't click with me then, but now it's clicking with me because I've seen it happen. So you got to go back and remember the conversation, which is a part of your brain, acknowledge what's happening now, which is a new, different part of your brain, connecting the two synapses to say, oh, in the future, I can look back to now and then be able to look back to your memory that you just had, which is me telling you in the past. Now you're connecting it to the now, and then in the future, now will be the past, but you'll still have that connection to the previous synapses. You see, now you have like a three-dimensional memory of yen strength in the month of March. Now, do I have a prediction like that for April? No. May? No. So it might just be a wild and crazy coincidence. That's for you to decide. But here says he wrote it down in January. Okay. If you watch, does anyone remember the video from FX Street where I talk about seasonality and the volcanoes behind me and I'm wearing a three-piece suit? Okay. Does anybody remember what year that was? Because I also explain it then. I explain year-end yen flow. I explain the counter trend. I explain the false rally. And then I talk about buying yen into the repatriation flows. And I stop in April. What was that? 4 years ago? 5 years ago? Was it 2018? I explained it then. So December 21st, 2018, I explain it that it's going to happen. Just like I did in 2020, I explained that it's going to happen. And here we are a few days after the fact, and Japanese yen is super strong. US dollar is super strong. Was it 2016? Yeah, okay. No, it wasn't Iceland. Only Americans go to Iceland. So anyways, once again, it's not about me being right. It's I don't know. It's like I'm a farmer. I'm just doing my job. I don't know when it's going to snow. I don't know when it's going to rain. I don't know if there's going to be a tornado. I don't know if there's going to be drought. I don't know if there's going to be too much rain. I don't know, but I do my job. I expect spring to occur before summer, and I expect summer to last a while, and then I expect the heat will go away and it'll get cold, but not freezing, and then I probably should harvest my crop, and then once it's all done, it's probably going to snow. But other than that, I have to just roll with it. You get that? Yes, Angnam says I explain it every year. I know, but I'm here to save your Forex trading soul. So, here's where I'm getting to. Okay, let's get to this. People, I got two people today saying, "What the hell's going on with Kiwi?" Nothing. Okay, put everything in context. The Japanese yen, right on time. Okay, right on time. Ba-ching! Gets strong. Dollar strong. And they're going to impact all the other currencies because these are the two biggest funding pairs on the planet. Okay? Contracts get priced in dollar. Contracts get priced in yen, or maybe they don't. It's just, I don't know. It's just historically, it's going to have this flow. You could just say it's Japanese yen repatriation, and well, we know it's true because the only way to get the yen strong is for the, but there's a lot going on. But yeah, repatriation, risk off, all that kind of stuff. Okay, great. So yen is strong. It's going to affect everything priced in yen or in terms of yen. And because the yen in of itself is strong, Everything else is doing what it's going to do. You have to understand it's not necessarily people selling Kiwi yen. Okay, so let's think of it this way. The yen is ripper strong, right on time, as you would expect. And the currencies that used to be strong will be less affected, or let's say have been strong recently, will be less affected relative to currencies that have been weak already. So Kiwi's been weak for a month. Yen skyrockets since the 17th, and guess what? It gets crushed. But Kiwi's already been, you're right, there's all kinds of issues going on in their economy. We know that. We know China is hesitating in its recovery. We know that. We know there's seasonality as far as Japanese yen repatriation and fiscal year end for Japanese businesses. I mean, again, dozens of times I said, think of the CFO of Honda and Mitsubishi and Toyota, Sony. They're all bringing money home, and snap. Why are they bringing home? Taxes are due. It's not complicated. So there's a lot going on, but is it Kiwi? Yeah, partially. But Kiwi's been weak. And maybe has there been news that come out that's been bad for Kiwi? Sure, but that's why it's been weak. The fundamentals are weak. We get it. The seasonality would punish a currency that's already weak. That's right, Johnny. There was another earthquake in Japan. Yeah, that could do it too. The earthquake happened over the weekend, though, right? Wasn't it Saturday morning or Saturday? It was like 6 p.m. on Saturday, right? Okay, so there's a lot of things going on. Some of it are externalities. Some is seasonal. And then some is fundamental. And, well, Kiwi was already weak, so it's going to feel the pain more. Okay, Turkish lira, yen. Whoa, that would be crazy, right? So, here's the thing. I want you to think about this. Okay, and for those that ask the question, I'm not punishing you. Okay, I want you to think about this process here. You should not be shocked. Okay? You should not say, what the hell's going on with Kiwi today? This isn't a today issue. Okay? This is two currents, two forces colliding, but the rivers have been flowing toward each other. It's an expected thing, right? The asteroids are going to collide. It's like mathematical. It's just physics. Yen has been on a trajectory of weak, and we've expected yen, right? So Kiwi's been on a trajectory of weakness, and we've been expecting and waiting for Japanese yen strength. So when they happen, perfect storm. Okay? So if CAD yen is coming down, oh my gosh, Kiwi yen's going to come down more. And that's called relative strength. But if you're surprised by this, it's telling me you didn't see the Kiwi weakness over the last month. You haven't been paying attention. You haven't been measuring things. So for example, right, I have these set up on this machine like this where you could like scan the Aussie dollar. And when I look at an Aussie dollar scan, I'm looking at this saying, okay, I'm saying, what's the value of the Aussie versus the pound? What's the value of the Aussie versus the Kiwi? Look, Aussie's weak, but look how weak Kiwi is. Oh my God. But we already knew that. It's not a new trend. Okay. Look at Aussie versus Swissy, Aussie versus dollar, Aussie versus yen. So dollar is strong. Yen is strong. Pound is sort of in the middle. And I can look at this very quickly and say, so this is sort of neutral against the Swissy, kind of neutral against the pound, although, right, weaker, but not as much as these. And then you look here and you're like, oh my God, Kiwi's the weakest. Okay, you see that? And my point here is you need to be doing this all day, not all day, every day though. Okay, every day. Okay. Okay, every day. And my argument here is, since this period of time, okay, and you might include this period of time, okay, since really even this is election day, right, the Biden-Trump election. No, it's earlier than that, right? So anyways, it's not quite. It's about that period, though. This is about the 19th. This is the 18th. So anyways, shortly after the presidential election, so you might want to go back in time. For those who said, why is the Kiwi so weak? Why don't you go back in time to November 2020 and look at the fundamental data, look at what the central banking statements, and find out why the Kiwi started to get weak. Okay? So like today, you're like, look at the Kiwi weakness. Dude, it's been weak since the middle of November. What do you mean today? You can't just be on the clue train now. This is on a solid trend of weakness. And historically, these two should be reasonably correlated. It's not typically New Zealand isn't way worse or way better than Australia. I mean, they're very close to each other. And there's an economic term called closeness, not necessarily geographical, but cultural too. The Kiwis and the Aussies share a lot of common culture, a lot of common law, a lot of common everything, right? Common trading partners, and so they're a very close type economy. Now, Australia is significantly larger and all that kind of stuff, but they shouldn't be dramatically different unless there's some sort of exogenous situation. So maybe New Zealand is being hurt by COVID more than Australia, or Australian exports, let's say we'll call it iron ore and coal, are doing better right now in the world market than New Zealand exports, sort of as the world is picking and choosing the resources it needs. And maybe the world isn't dying for dairy, but it really needs steel or coal or iron or whatever, right? So there just might be more demand in the moment of recovery from COVID globally. I'm not talking their economies. I'm talking about the Chinese economy. I'm talking about the U.S. economy. And so there's this flow of money and resources and demand and supply. And Australia looks like it's better positioned. So the question is why, but it's not a new issue. This has been going on for months and months and months and months and months. So again, for those that said, hey man, what's going on with the Kiwi today? You're too narrow. Okay? You're too narrow. You're only focused on today, and you're not looking down the tracks for a freight train. Right? There's no train today, there's no train today, there's no train today, there's no train today. Boom, you got run over by a train. Okay? And this isn't about Kiwi either. So this has more to do with yen and dollar. Okay, so like I told you yesterday, I didn't sleep much. I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning. This was yesterday. So on Sunday, I guess Monday morning at 3 a.m., I'm up watching the markets, right? And late last night, it's like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm smoking a cigar, and I got a laptop and a cup of coffee, for crying out loud, right? So this is a time to pay attention. This is a time to be ready, willing, and able. This is a time to be planning ahead, okay? And everyone in my swing trading group is in this mode, okay? Right? Okay? So you're either setting things up or you're probably getting close to taking some profits, okay? So Johnny's probably looking to get long. Maida is probably taking profit on her shorts. Very cool. Okay. Yeah. LIBOR says Airbnb, they're talking about the housing crisis. Well, Australia, their existing home sales were down like 68%. But, okay, it's always relative, right? You've been waiting on that for weeks, yeah. Okay, so mark it down, though. Understand, okay? Write it down, like really write notes to yourself. How did it play out? When did it play out? When did you think it was going to happen? When did it happen? How would you like to play it next? Okay, these are all the good questions that you need to be asking yourself if you're going to improve as a trader. And by the way, 10 years later, you're still going to be asking the same questions. But if you ask questions like, why the hell did that happen? Why did you get run over by a freight train? Those are different questions. If you don't see it coming, there's a giant gap in your analysis, and that's that. Okay. Yeah, but none of that is a change, though. You guys have to understand you're mixing news with fundamentals. Oh, New Zealand didn't change its rates. Well, of course not. And why would they? And why would they expect it to? And more likely, what would they need to see economically to do that? Okay? So, and stop listening to the news, because those guys, they don't understand. Like, literally don't. Just do your own work. Why the hell would New Zealand change interest rates? It's like a silly question right off the bat. I mean, we were worried about negative interest rates in New Zealand. Is that coming back? Just, yeah, be the one that's informed. The one that says, oh my God, what the hell just happened, is the trader that's not informed. Okay? So now, hopefully I showed you where you're like, what's going on with Kiwi? Oh, well, it's been weak for 4.5 months. So this Japanese yen we've been expecting based on seasonality has arrived, and well, that's already a weak currency, so yeah, it got hit hard. Not surprising at all. The freight train showed up right on time, and you were standing on the tracks. So again, last night I was on Kiwi dollar. If you remember from yesterday, I was long, sort of in here somewhere. Let's get off daily. I was long, I think right here, like right on the button. You remember the M2, right on the button? And I got out right here at -5. 5 pips. I wasn't afraid. Okay? I wasn't afraid. Like, oh my God. Right? I didn't jam my stop at break even either. You know what I said? Kiwi's been weak. It's the worst one of them all. I have no confidence in this. And my trade plan was this. And now I'm back to here, and that wasn't my trade plan. This is literally what's going through my mind. And it was fairly early in the day, if I remember. It was probably 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something. Like, I just looked at it, I'm like, what the hell? Right in here. I'm like, what the hell? So I got out right near this, just below this line right here. Right? So probably here. I'm like, that was my plan. Now, I could have said this. Well, what if it bounces here? Oh, but what if it bounces here? Oh, what if it bounces? No. My trade plan was this. And because I had no confidence, or I guess I bought it, so I have to have some confidence. Because I had little confidence, because I already know Kiwi was the one that's most like a dog with fleas, that I'm like, you know what? I didn't get what I wanted, so I'm out. Give me my money back. So I lost 5 pips. Good trade. I had an opportunity. It was profitable for a while. Yeah, it was only up 20 or 30 pips or something like that. And then I'm checking throughout the day. I'm doing things, checking it throughout the day. I'm doing things. So I'm nursing all my trades. And then I look at it. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I'm like, bail. -5. Okay. That's it. That's it. I don't think I even looked at the chart because I knew my entry. It's a swing trade. So a double bottom on something I don't feel comfortable with, like, forget it. That's it. Okay. Did I know it was going to do this? No, but this is why I have the discipline to get out of a failed trade before it hurts. Okay. Okay, so I got a question here. Please talk about the euro yen. Well, I am. Okay, I am right here. I'm talking about euro yen. Now, you're looking at Kiwi dollar and you're like, what does that mean? Well, oops, is that the right one? No. What do we have here? There's only two things. There's only two things. You have to understand there's only two things going on in the world right now. Dollar strength and yen strength. So you're like, euro yen, talk about it. I don't care about euro. The Germans just realized they got a problem with COVID. Good job, Germany. The French are already locked down. The Germans are being locked down. Maybe they should all sit in a circle and talk about it. Talk about maybe doing something about it. Maybe someday, perhaps. Okay. And they're in lockdown. Euro's strong. Huh. That's weird, right? Well, when you're in lockdown, you're going to need some money. Happens. It's what happened in India. Okay. Also, my macro fundamental outlook for euro dollar is up by the end of the year. Okay. Well, Richard says euro dollar, I suppose you're saying, is 54% weighted to the U.S. I don't know if that's true or not, but that would mean euro dollar would be down, not up. But anyways, this looks quite neutral, slightly down to neutral. It's not a good trade, guys. You need to look at that and say, you should be long dollar CAD. You should be short CAD yen. You should be short Kiwi dollar. You should be short Kiwi yen. You should be short Aussie dollar. You should be short Aussie yen. Euro, not interested. It's not even a good trade. Why do you care? You care because you're not doing your relative strength exercises. Okay, they're like Kegels. You should do them, but you don't want to do them. Okay, and you forget to do them. Oh, I forgot to do my relative strength exercises. Okay. Okay. So that's good you're asking the questions. Now, I know you're like, Wayne put me into a euro dollar trade, but that's not the right trade. But you are asking the right questions, which tells me from your question, your thought process, and your thought process is missing giant pieces of information. So I'm glad you asked. I hope you don't get upset by my answer, but you're asking about a mediocre trade. And that's a bigger issue. And many people, and I don't know if this is you or not, but many people just trade euro dollar every day, or they trade just pound dollar every day and like, I like my pound dollar, or I like my pound yen. And some of the time that'll work great. Other times it won't. And most of the time it'll be mediocre because you'll be trading something a little bit weak versus something a little bit strong, or vice versa. And it'll do all right, especially if your technicals are pretty good. You'll do all right, but you probably won't crush it. It's better to do the work first. The classic story, and I'm not going to tell it, but the classic story is I'd spend over an hour every day doing relative strength exercises on an Excel spreadsheet before I even looked at a chart. And it sounds like, or it seems like, you open your charts and you look for a trade, and that's a failure. You don't know what you're going to do today, and you're like, oh my God, look at that Kiwi. Woohoo! That's nuts. What happened? That is a sign of failure. Okay? Okay? So that's all. So change the behavior. Okay? Do your relative strength exercises. The first thing you should do when you get in the morning, sit down, scan all your dollar pairs, and then scan all your yen pairs. And typically dollar and yen are correlated. So in this case, all dollar pairs are down, or dollar strong versus everything. Yen is strong versus everything. And that makes sense. So that's all you should really be doing. Okay. The next thing is, okay, you're going to buy dollar and yen against what? So you scan your pound. Then you scan your euro. Then you scan your Swissy. You might not be trading Swissy, so you can skip it. Then you scan your CAD, then you scan your Aussie, you scan your Kiwi, you scan your whatever. And what you end up doing is, you already know you want to buy dollar, you already know you want to buy yen. The thing is, what are you selling? Well, so you do all these relative exercises to find out the weakest. You're looking for the weak. You're looking for your target. Okay? And you're like, wow, Kiwi is redonkulously weak. Look at Aussie versus Kiwi. Aussie's weak, but Kiwi is crazy weak. But you already knew that in your mind. Like when I woke up yesterday and when I went to bed yesterday, I knew Kiwi was weak. You have to understand that. And it's not because I'm brilliant or something. No, I've been following the Kiwi. If you do your relative strength exercise every day and you have a scan Kiwi, right? So here's how you do it. Let's open Swissy. Okay? Check it out. Here's how you do it. You open this up and let's put a bunch of Kiwis together. Find anything with a Kiwi on it. The Kiwi dollar sounds good. Pop it on. Kiwi Aussie Kiwi. Pop it on. Kiwi yen sounds good. Pop it on. Euro Kiwi, or do you want to do pound Kiwi? What do you guys want to do? Euro or pound? You pick. Euro Kiwi or pound Kiwi? Which one am I putting on? I guess we can do both. Good answer. So you do this, and then you go File, New Chart. Just pick one randomly, and then you put the Euro on there. Where did it go? Noki, Kiwi CAD. This one. Okay, cool. All right. Cool. So we got all that. Great. And you're like, Wayne, that doesn't look good to me. I want one of these things. All right, cool. So cool. Now they look very similar. Now I go to Window, Tile Vertically, let's say. Okay, cool. Now, these are all on the scan Kiwi, but we don't want that. So now you have to do Profile, Save As, Scan Kiwi. Now I have a new profile. See, I can scan the CAD. Here's the CAD. Okay, it just remembers the way I left it. And now I can go to the Scan Kiwi, and there's all my Kiwi pairs. Make sure they're set properly on the right time frames. 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay. Kiwi is weaker than the dollar. Kiwi is weaker than the yen. Kiwi is weaker than the Aussie. Kiwi is weaker than the pound. Kiwi is weaker than the euro. Well, that's on a 4-hour. How about daily? Daily. Oh, daily. 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 All right. I'll click a little bit on this one. Okay, great. So since March, well, actually since January, okay, and this one since February, okay, right? So from somewhere from 3 to 6 weeks, Kiwi has been weak. Do you understand that? Like, I went to bed knowing that, yes, last night. When I woke up yesterday morning, 24 hours ago, I knew that. I knew it a week ago. I knew it a month ago. So that's the thing. So if you walk into the room, you're like, wow, why is Kiwi so weak? You're like, where's the news? There's no news there. There's no new information. It's been weak for weeks. Which probably means you're also not reading the central banking data out of New Zealand. You've never been to the RBNZ website, right? So, so that's why you don't know. Those that know are probably the freight train running you over right now. And if you got tracks on your back and you're laying flat on the ground, staring at railroad ties, you stood in front of a knowledgeable trader that just ran you over. Okay? So, if you survived, stand up, clean yourself up, and get informed. Okay? Get informed. You can do it. Okay, so you got a great question, and hopefully this was an informative answer. I know it was probably even a small question, right, Walter? Right? Walter's like, hey, what's that? It was a minor question, right? But you asked an astute question, and that is, I don't know, is what you basically said. And so why don't you know? Okay, so get on it, Walter. Stand up. Just get that dirt off your shoulder. Okay? Brush yourself off, stand up, and own it. So I would challenge you, why don't you figure it out? I would go to the RBNZ website and spend hours on the website finding out why since November, really, because a lot of this is from November, why since November, or against the dollar even, it's a year ago. So look, right? So anyways, no, this one. Yeah, this is the turn that we're looking for. So why? Try to pinpoint it, what happened in the economy so that you are enlightened. Okay? Sheriff Van says, yeah, I like when he goes on a rant. Well, look, dude, putting together trade plans is easy. The issue to me is like, if you don't know, then that's the biggest problem. Look, if you're a bull, setting up bullish trades are easy. If you're a bear, setting up bearish trades are easy. Dude, if you're a bear, sell a low or high. Why is that complicated? If you're a bull, buy a dip, but don't buy a drop. Why is that complicated? Okay? 99% of the problems is that you don't know what you're doing before you do it. You make it up as you go. You wing it. It never works ever in any planet, right? In any job, in any career. You show up for the piano recital and you haven't practiced. I'll just wing it. I'm pretty good at playing piano. I'll just sit down and wing it. Well, there's someone else that has practiced for hours and hours and hours and days and days and days, weeks and weeks and weeks. They get to play in Carnegie Hall, and the other guy never gets off the stage in high school. Why? The work ethic. So if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. I got 99 problems, but a pip ain't one. Okay? So the trading part should be easy if you know what you're doing. You make a decision and it's some technical analysis. It's not the most complicated part of the process. Okay? So if you did some basic technical analysis, you'd already know the Kiwi's weak. That's all. You haven't even been to the RBMC website, but you should already know. That's the thing. Like, you should already know. You should already know. Come on. Come on. Dude, come on. So why you don't know is the bigger question. All right. Coolio. USD Rand up and down and down and up and up and down and down and up. Okay, fine. USD Mexican Peso, never quite caught it, and I'm still waiting. Okay, cool. I got an entry coming here, and I got another one there. I might need it. This might go up here to here. I don't think it'll double top. I just don't. So, by the way, hint, hint, hint. Here's a free hint, free tip of the day. Wayne's free tip of the day. On Thursday, my swing trading group and I are going to meet, and we're going to plan out April. So why don't you do that? Oh, Walter's a Jay-Z fan? That's a funny story. He says it's a real story, and he got really mad because he got pulled over by the cops. He's like, it was clearly driving while black. He's like, I'm just driving through the neighborhood. No, I'm not speeding. I'm not going through a red light. I didn't go through a stop sign. They clearly pulled me over because I'm black, and they assumed I was carrying drugs. He said the part that pissed him off is his trunk was full of drugs. And he's like, but that's besides the point. He's like, they didn't know I had drugs. They just assumed they saw me as a black man in this neighborhood and that I would have drugs. So they pulled me over illegally. And it pissed them off because it was true. Okay, so what can make risk on again? This is seasonality on. So go back in the videos. I said yen's going to get strong. By the end of March, we will be dumping the yen. Yen is ripper strong right now. 2 weeks from now, maybe 2 days from now, it will be ripper weak. Okay, so we already know. I already know. I have it all planned out. I've discussed it many, many times. This year, last year, the year before. I'm building a dollar. Yeah, dollar was strong last night, and I'm building a dollar weakness portfolio. That's why I got to do my job, and I got to be careful. I need to be certain, but I can't be stubborn. I have to be, I know what I want to do, but the hard part is seeing reality enough that I know that I'm wrong in the moment. So like when I say, oh my God, look at this Kiwi dollar. I'm only down 5 pips. I don't care about the 5 pips, but I'm like, it's not doing what it's not doing what I had planned it to do if I were to be successful on this trade. And the fact that it didn't do it tells me I'm probably wrong, and I'll get out before it's any deal at all. It's not a big deal. It's not a small deal. I'm just kind of pissed off that it hasn't worked yet. I'm like, it's too early. I'm going to do it again. You have to understand that. I'm going to buy Kiwi dollar again. Maybe today, probably not. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. Almost certainly next week. I'm already thinking April, May, and June, and I fully plan on being on that Kiwi dollar. Now, it's probably the last one I trade. I will buy Aussie way before Kiwi. Okay? I'll probably be long euro dollar, Aussie dollar, okay, Kiwi dollar. I'll be short USD CAD. I'll be short USD Rand. I'll be short USD Peso. So on and so forth. I might be long gold dollar. I might be long Bitcoin dollar. Okay? But do you guys remember it was last week? I'm going to guess. Thursday morning, maybe. I talk about a rotation out of yen pairs and into dollar pairs. So it wasn't Thursday because that was the Fed, the day after the Fed meeting. Thursday. It was maybe early last week. You guys remember? I said yen is the weakest on the planet, but dollar is going to be weaker soon. Yen pairs have been straight up like a rocket ship, but are more likely to move sideways the next few months, and dollar pairs will outperform yen pairs. How many people specifically remember that conversation? The best trades now are very soon no longer going to be the best trades, and that there will be a rotation out of long all the, let's say, pound yen, euro yen, and instead you'll be long pound dollar, euro dollar. Instead of being long Aussie yen, you'll be long Aussie dollar. Now, I either said it earlier in the week or maybe it was the swing trading group. Actually, thinking about it, it was the paid group, right? So those that paid $99 to be in the live group saw this coming and didn't get crushed on the yens. Maybe that's worth 99 bucks. Cool. Okay. Yeah, walking around. I did use the minefield analogy a few times. I look at all central banks. My favorite thing about currency trading is central banks. And I explained why also. Thank you, Richard. Okay? So, here's the thing, guys. I'm trying to say that you can prepare. And if you just had a woke moment where you're like, now you know the things that you don't know, if you grab onto it and say, I must know, I need to know, I will know these things. Or you just go, whatever, and you just go on being mediocre. Okay? Nobody successful got success because it's easy. They stand up and they fight for their success. It's a battle. Okay? So you either stand up and fight or you fail. Okay? Okay? So, now the ball's in your court. Now, if you just realize you don't know something, what are you willing to do so that you do know these things? Shravan, I'm not sure if you're heckling me or supporting me. So if you're heckling me, you should make it more obvious. All right. Cool. So, yeah. So I'm going to see this trade plan here. I'm going to wait for that. Most likely because we're already through the R1. If you recall, a couple of days ago, I said I knew we were here and I skipped it because I think it's going to go higher up before it drops because it's an R1, not an M3. Okay, cool. No, I just wasn't sure. Right? Yeah, I don't know. No. I was just saying, like, hey, if you're heckling me, you need to do a better job. So I just wasn't sure. It was a mixed message. Right? Like the guy that came out last week and said, "Oh, he's a pseudo intellectual." I'm like, well, what do I have to do to be a real intellectual? I don't get it, right? Like, what do I need to do? I need a PhD from Harvard, right? A master's degree isn't enough. I'm like, it's a fake school. Well, what school do I need to go to be impressive, right? Like, gee whiz. So, yeah, it's the wrong word, isn't it? I used the word a couple of times a few months ago. My wife's like, that's not the right word for that. Uh-oh. My mic is moving up. Oh, this is so complicated. Why is it so complicated? I have a Throne Max arm on a pile stand. Maybe that's what the issue is. All right. Hopefully that'll hold. Come on, man. Yeah, it's amazing, though, what you have to do to impress people, right? The problem is I didn't do it to impress anybody except my children. Some things are just too difficult. Like, you know, and I guess it has to do with the internet, too, now, right? You know, buying stuff to impress people, it's an impoverished point of view. I suppose even if you have money, it doesn't make a lot of sense unless you have insecurity about where you are in station, as the English would say. You're insecure about your station in society. Or you're frustrated with a lack of mobility, so you kind of do your best to pretend you're mobile. Like, I don't know, there's a weird mix of why do you post vacation pictures for everybody to see? So I don't do those things, right? So I've never understood really why I want to see you in Cancun. They're like, look at me, my kids, we're in Cancun. Give me a thumbs up. Like, I'm not sure what it's all about. So it's kind of interesting. Like, so I didn't spend 6 years and $1 billion going to Harvard to put it on my Facebook feed, right? So, whatever. Cool. So let's go into here. Yeah, I don't really understand it, Johnny, but I don't know. I think I'm just weird. I'm okay with that. I'd hate to be normal. All right. So here's the thing. This is going to be tricky. We have to line up supply and demand, seasonality, and I guess everything else into this trade. So let's do, right? Let's do this. Tell me your, how would I, let's do it with a macro point of view, not WTI, just macroeconomics. Do you think over the next 12 months now, 12 months, from this day to this day in the future, right? Will there be global macroeconomic expansion or contraction? So type in the word expansion or type in the word contraction based on your point of view. We're not even talking about the currency part. We're talking about WTI. By the way, Walter, all of this is covered in like all the video training courses at FX Bootcamp. All this knowledge is already there and documented. Okay. So your answer here will determine your bias for oil. Now, it doesn't tell you up or down because that's going to be supply and demand. But it'll tell you whether you are looking to buy at support or sell at resistance. So if you said expansion, that there'll be at least continued demand. You don't know if there'll be more demand. And this, of course, has nothing to do with supply either. So you're only looking at the demand side of the equation. But at least you know you're a buyer of WTI. And then at least demand will be fixed, let's say constant. And that you'll say supply will float around based on things like seasonality, but also OPEC. So you got to watch your OPEC. Okay? Okay, so we're fixing that. There'll be at least as much demand, probably even more demand in the future. But let's just say at least over the next year, we'll at least have this much demand. And so now you have to pay attention to supply. Now, why is supply important? Well, we know when OPEC meetings are. In particular, OPEC plus one is more important, or OPEC plus is more important than OPEC. So do some research, like when are the OPEC meetings? And read their statements. What are they debating? What is OPEC and the plus debating? And what did they do last time to deal with this situation? And when are they getting together? And what are they likely to do in the next meeting? Okay, because this will impact supply. Then go to the IEA, the EIA, the Energy Administration, the Energy Information Administration, so this is the United States government. Go to the EIA and look at seasonality charts for supply. Now, I went through 50 years of this data 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I went through 50 years worth of data. So I already know, like in my mind, like I can see supply increasing and decreasing over the rest of the year. I can see the pattern. So if you don't know, you should know, is all I'm saying. Because what we're doing is we're trying to make a determination. If you believe we're going to have global macroeconomic expansion, then at least demand should be minimally fixed to where we are now, and more likely to increase, which would, an increase in demand would push up WTI. Okay, but we don't know that on the long run. So we'll just at least fix it to say it's not going to get worse. So it'll either stay the same or get better. So then we fix that, so now we don't have to worry about demand. Then we go over to the supply and say, well, okay, now if the supply curve is shifting, what is the seasonality of the shift of supply? And how do I put that into my economic outlook? So, for example, where are the peaks and valley of historical norms of supply? And you're like, wow, that'd be great if I had that information. Well, the government provides that information. So you go to the EIA website and you search for it. You might have to spend 2 hours trying to find it. Whatever. Get good. Dig deep, my friend. There's a plethora, a cornucopia, okay, of information. Maybe you should be informed, okay? And then you will come out and say, all right, you think or up or down, and then you'll see when supply is highest and when supply is lowest, and you fit that into your seasonality. What month should you be a buyer? What month should you be a seller? And all that kind of stuff. And you put together generalized trading strategies and then use technical analysis to try to time these things. Or you just show up and you wing it every day and you have no idea what you're doing. Maybe you'll buy it, maybe you sell it, you have no idea. Well, good luck with that, my friend. Well, Cameron, you can put that in there, but that, you know, yeah. The thought process is not quite helpful. So, yeah, I don't know how to respond to a thought process like that. Yes, energy will be free one day. That is true. Yes, great. So you're going to make money trading WTI or not? Like, yeah, we're all drive Teslas winning. Great. Yeah, oil refineries will be shut down. Is that true? No, actually. What do we use crude for? Okay. Cameron, do you realize that fertilizer to grow food comes from natural gas? So we need a refinery to convert natural gas into fertilizer. Okay, so there'll always be demand for food, right? And then we will, when will jets all be battery powered? Probably after cars. So we're going to need some jet fuel. Are we going to continue using plastic over the next 10 years? Yeah, probably. It's a huge problem. Plastic's nasty. But we'll probably continue to use it. So we'll need some refinery for that. So we'll still need crude. Are we going to need lubrication? I mean, maybe the factory is running on batteries and electric solar power, but are the machines going to need lubrication? Okay, well, I guess we'll need some crude oil and we'll refine it into, right? Are we going to need tar for roads? Like, so all cars are going to be electric. Are they going to be flying or are we going to use roads? Well, where do we get tar from to make asphalt? Oh, we get it from crude. So I guess we'll have to refine it. So yeah, there'll be less demand for gasoline for sure. And eventually all energy will be free. Yes, I agree with that. More likely for your grandchildren, will you, or right, will you say, well, we got solar power and we got wind power and we got nuclear power and we got hydropower and we got so much power, it's all free. Yeah, but you probably can make money today or tomorrow trading WTI, right? So it's like, yeah, I get it. You're right. What you say is true, but it's not valuable either. I get it, but you got to make money. You got to put food on the table. Okay. It's like saying, well, I want to be a hunter, but you know, we're all going to eat, you know, synthetic meat burgers all day. Well, go out and shoot a deer while we wait. All right. Oh yeah. Lots to talk about. Thank you for the Green Deal. Yeah. $3 trillion Biden's going to spend. So we have Yellen and Powell speaking today, and they're going to justify high inflation and high taxes. Okay, and then what's on the plate now is a $3 trillion a real stimulus package. See, the last one they keep calling it stimulus. I'm like, hey, extending unemployment benefits and giving people $1,400, that's, I wouldn't call that a stimulus per se. That's a bailout. That's like, and we already know most people just save the money because they don't actually need it. So like, I don't know. But now the talk is a $3 trillion stimulus package through infrastructure. Okay. So we got trillions of dollars from the Fed, trillions of dollars from Trump's administration, trillions of dollars from Biden's administration, and then we're going to add 3 more trillion. Now, the interesting thing is we didn't need Biden's 2 trillion, in my opinion. Okay, that's just an opinion. But we actually need some infrastructure. All the roads in America are pretty pathetic. right? I saw a video the other day of someone driving, I think it was a LaFerrari in India. I'm like, oh my God, you're driving that in India? You're like, oh my God, you can't drive that down India. And then I looked and the roads were better than America. And I'm like, oh, okay. Right. So America could use some infrastructure because it's getting its butt kicked by China. Because if you've been anywhere in China, it's beautiful infrastructure. Okay. If has anyone been on the Boston subway system or the New York subway system or taken a train in Chicago? Has anyone done that recently? You're like, oh my God, this is like a third world country. Right? Then you go to LA and you want to take the train system. There is no train system. What are you talking about? Right? There's no train system. Nobody what? No. So it's pretty shocking, actually. It's really shocking. Oh, you're gonna take the red line into Cambridge? People are shocked. You're like, wow, this is Boston? Yeah. Yeah, the homeless people, yeah. Yeah, so we have geese all over our yard. Dozens of geese all day, especially this time of year. They're getting to lay eggs and stuff. And I just said the other day, I'm walking because there's thousands of piles of goose poop everywhere. And I'm like, man, I haven't seen this much crap since I lived in San Francisco. Yeah, you ever walk down the streets of San Francisco? One of the most expensive cities in the world. It's homeless people and smells like urine. And yeah, you better watch where you step. Pretty amazing. Anyways, so Biden wants to spend the trillions of dollars on that. That's cool. Obama promised $1 trillion, and that was outrageous back then. But I don't think any of it was spent. So anyways, sorry about the diatribe. Let's just move on. My oh my, WTI. All right, here we go. So is this the 3? This is the 618. This was the 382, I think. So if we're going to play it now, is that? Let me go out further, obviously. Okay, this is it. This is the 618. This is the 382. All right, so we're not quite there yet. If it retraces back to 50, you'll end up buying it at 50 and you're going for 65,000. If this holds here around 55, 54, 53-ish, you see how we have this set up. This is the 382. Well, sorry, let me do it more. This is the 382, which we're talking about. And then underneath that, I have, let's do it this way. Underneath that, I have this area using price. Okay. Now I have to redraw the other one. And this is 382. Okay. Which is a fib. And so we have, like, if it bounces in here, and this is, yeah, you can consider that the bounce, then that is the one where we're going to 70. Now, this is a 15-minute chart. I did this for you a week ago. Okay. Maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't even remember. Maybe 3 weeks ago. Okay. That's the idea of planning. If this fails, you back yourself off and you already got the next plan set up. You have your plan B. You have your fallback position. Okay? If this gets overrun, you already have this all set up. Okay? You already got the claymores. They're wired up, but it's not hooked to a battery yet. You already got the bunkers and the sandbags all set up. You got the crossfire positions. You got the upper ground. So if you have to fall back, you fall back this way, fall back this way, fall back this way. The enemy shows up and they do this. And now they're all bundled together because you got the high ground. Oops. So they can't get through here and they can't get through here. And so they enter in your little zone and they're like, "Hey, what's up, fellas? What's up, fellas?" Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, like, "Oh, you didn't have a trade plan, huh?" "Yeah, what's up, fellas? Hey, what are you guys doing? Why are you surrounding us? Wait, we fell into a trap." So anyway, yeah, plan B, man. Plan B. Well, it's actually, we used to do this in football too. We used to do this in football. We realized when I was on the football team that our line wasn't very good. We had small guys on our front line protecting our quarterback relative to the other teams. So you set up here, okay? And they set up here. And then you had a quarterback and then two backs. And so what we used to do is they would overwhelm, right? So you get these guys pushed this way. I guess this should have been a different color. Okay, here's us, okay? So they pushed this way. So what we did was we'd move, right, this guy back, this, right? So the quarterback moves, this guy blocks, and I would go out here, and this end would come out here. So everyone on the entire pink team would run this way, okay? Get stopped up by this guy. The quarterback is way far away. Everyone here is all moving forward. And then, of course, the quarterback now down here. And there's, right? And I'd catch it. And everyone's running the wrong way. They even turned the wrong way. So you have to stop your momentum and turn around, and I'm long gone. And so you'd get them. You'd get people to come your way, and it was the whole plan. Presenting the weakness was the whole plan. So yeah, I'm sure in military, same thing. Like, right, your plan was to catch it at 618 and get all these guys this way. So now they're out of position. More likely in trading, what happens is, you know, that for whatever reason, this is going to be a profit zone for bears. So you know the bears are going to get out, or at least you're planning on it and you're looking for signs of it. As soon as the bears get out, you're taking this north to 75 or 65, sorry. And you already know it. Okay? Because this failed, you got your plan B already set up. Okay? But you know, if you've played sports or if you're in the military and you just run around shooting things, your side is going to lose, and fairly quickly. And sports, team sports will teach you this very quickly, how a good team is significantly more important than good players. Okay? You know what? I'm done. All right. Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you for being part of Forex.Today. If you need my book, the link is in the description below. If you need my chart templates, the link is in the description below. If you need a broker, the link is in the description below. If you need live training, if you need training videos, if you need training at all, you don't know how to day trade, you don't know how to swing trade, you don't know fundamentals, you don't know central banking policies, you don't know all these things, you don't know fibs, you don't know pivot points, you don't know multiple time frames. Like, all of this has been documented beautifully on fxbootcamp.com. The link is in the description below. Get your knowledge on. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. And I will see you later. If you're in my swing trading group this afternoon at 2 p.m., we are doing macroeconomics, the part 2 of the model. And then the week after that, we will be doing business cycles. So we got to wrap up solo growth, right? And then we got to move on to business cycles, right? From steady state, so that you can understand why you can overshoot potential GDP. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Cheers.